Hello everybody, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Corin, also known as the Kitten Choreographer, and I'm a teen with a passion for kitten rescue and makeup. And I have a kitty. Hi! You get put on camera when you walk up to me while I'm filming. Anyways, I'm so excited. Today we are going to be reviewing the Kaleidos Club Nebula Palette. I love watching Angelica, and I was so excited when I found out that she was going to be doing a collab with Kaleidos. At first, I wasn't going to buy it. That's just because I was thinking I was out of money, and I would have had to get up at like 2 a.m. for the launch, or 3 a.m. my time, because I thought it was going to sell it immediately, so I didn't end up getting up. And I talk about this a little bit in the outro too, but I did end up getting up at like 8 a.m. and it was still in stock, so I was like, I'm gonna get it. And I am glad that I did, but you will have to wait until the end of the video to see my full thoughts. So this palette does retail for $45 USD and is sold out currently, but it is restocking on February 17th. Let's go into open up this palette. I have no idea if I've done that in the intro, do not remember. It is so pretty, so I'm gonna go ahead and do some swatches for you. I've already used this palette a ton, so I'm sorry it's kind of not pretty, but I'm gonna go ahead and take off my jacket, and I'm gonna try and actually have swatches in focus this time, because the last time I did swatches, they were not in focus. I'm trying to get better at them. I'm doing them so I get better at them, and then I'll eventually have good swatches, maybe. So first, we have Firefly, 7 of 9, and Gravity. Then we have Queen of Blades, Void, and You're My Only Hope. That one didn't swatch very well, but I have used it on the eyes and it is gorgeous. Then we have Naru, Astrum, and Rockhopper. Then we have Cylon, Celestial, and Nova. And lastly, we have Samus, Nebula, and Red Giant. And you can see my swatches are totally traveling upwards. Whee! But they look a lot better than the Nomad swatches. The Nomad Cosmetics Iceland palette swatches that I did. Hopefully that one was in focus, although I won't know until I'm editing. But yeah, these are the swatches, and I don't know if I need to mention anything else in the intro. I probably should mention something else, but I can't remember what it is at the moment. So let's go ahead and hop into the first look. This is the second look that I'm gonna be doing. Yeah, first look time. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into look number 1. I might have already said this in the intro, but I've seen a lot of looks with this palette, and I'm not trying to directly recreate any, and I'm not really trying to pull inspiration from any, but I've seen so many looks with this palette, and it's great. All of them are beautiful, but if my look looks like someone else's, I did not directly try to do that. All those looks are beautiful. Hopefully my look will be beautiful. Yeah, we might have either just thought of similar ideas or I accidentally took inspiration from them. So if my looks are similar, sorry, but like, I don't know. I don't even know where I'm going. I am going to be probably super rambly in this section of the video because it is late at night. I have never filmed a video this late at night. It is like 10 p.m., which is not that late for most of you normal folk, but I am a weirdo that goes to bed early. We're at time, and I normally don't film this late, but I really want to get this video up as a bonus video for you guys, so I am doing it. I'm just priming with the Urban Decay Primer Potion. This is what I always prime with for review videos. It's just the eyeshadow primer that I trust the most and the one I use most often, so it's what I use. So, preface, I don't even know what my attitude is going to be for this video. I don't. We'll see. I'm tired, yet I have random bursts of energy, so, you know, I could spill all my secrets, or I could be really boring. We'll see. So for this look, I want to dip into the greens and the blues. I've done a couple looks with this already. Hopefully those will be on Instagram by the time this is posted, but I forget to post on Instagram a lot, so who knows. But I think we're going to do some green, some blue, and we'll see. But I'm first going to dip into the shade. Olwen, was that really necessary? That was a kitten. So I'm first going to dip into the shade 7 of 9, which is this shade right here. And I'm just going to put that through my crease, blowing off my brush. Oh, in my last video, I did have some crazy tics. Those were because of a medication. For all of you asking, thank you for all of those well wishes. I'm doing much better now. Much better. Oh, yeah. Spoiler alert, like, I've used this several times. I've used it a couple times. I already have a pretty solid opinion on it, but you'll just have to wait to the end of the video to see what it is. You can see this is very pigmented. I'm going in with a light hand. I forget to blow off my brushes a lot just because I don't care about fallout, because I do my base first, or my eyes first, not my base first. But I tend to have more fallout than a lot of people just because I always forget to blow off or tap off my brush. But to minimize fallout, you can always do that. But there doesn't seem to be much fallout even with me forgetting. I don't remember what it was like the last time I used it. I didn't use it today when I did my first round of makeup. So yeah, that's what we're with so far. Then I'm going to take kind of a small blendy brush and go into Gravity, which is the bright green. I haven't touched this yet. I haven't done swatches of it yet, just some of the shimmers. I'll do swatches in the intro, which I have not filmed yet. And I'm just gonna kind of blend the edges. You wouldn't think, you know, it was not my first thought to think to blend the edges with some green. But then I was like, you know, I guess there was inspiration for the green part, blending out green from a couple people. I'll link them in the description below if I remember. Keep the light facing me, please. Why did you've been sleeping all day. Why do you suddenly have to get crazy? So I'm just going in with a light hand because this is a bright green and you would not normally think to use this as like a blending out color, but I'm deciding to. It actually looks pretty good so far. Just using a very light hand and kind of not using the full impact of the shade. There is some kick up in the pan. Does not bother me in the slightest. I'm going back into the 7 of 9 shade to just make sure there's a blend, seamless blend in between the two of these. Sorry, I'm trying to go quickly because my last video of these was like long, but I can't like not ramble, so whoopsie. Now for my outer corner, I'm going into the shade Queen of Blades, which is this green here, the darker one. And I'm putting that into my outer corner, kind of lightly. It's very pigmented. Angelica here, I'm talking with just the first name as if we're friends, which we're not, but she likes very dark shadows. And I like dark shadows too, but like when she said these shadows were dark, she means they are dark. Like, on my pale skin, these shades are like really dark. Like this shade, Rock Hopper here, I use this with one of my first looks with the palette. And that would be like my deep shade normally, but I used it for like a middle shade, which my look turned out very deep and I wasn't mad at it. I did like it, but it was very different than what I was used to. Now I'm going back into 7 of 9 and just blending the green into the teal. Just going back into Queen of Blades a little bit just to deepen that up a little bit. I want it a little deeper, so I'm going to pack it on a little bit more. And then go back into 7 of 9 and blend it. It blends very easily. And then just a little bit more of Gravity to blend it out a bit more. Which I would be interested to do a look with like using Gravity at its full opacity. I'm really just lightly dusting it on now, but I definitely want to use it, oops, something fell, at its full opacity eventually. So now I'm taking a flat brush and going into Void, which is this dark blue shade here on the far right corner. And I'm just packing this on the lid. This is really pretty. For when I'm on my more masculine days, I really prefer dark, smoky makeup. And I actually had some of that on today, even though it was more, I don't know, it was like a he-they sort of day. But where was I going with this? I would love to use like a deep navy blue like this for those days too, not just a brown or a black like I do a lot of days. Okay, going back into 7 of 9, blending a little bit. And you can see the color kind of blends away, but like that's usual with mattes. If you go into a lighter shade after a darker shade, it kind of blends away. So I pretty much always go back into the darker shade and add a little bit more like I'm doing now. And I'm not really cutting the crease. I want it to be a pretty nice blend. And then I'm also going to go a bit back into Queen of Blades because I am putting 2 shades of relatively the same deepness next to each other, but I still want them to like stand out next to each other even though, because they are different colors even though they're about the same deepness. So if you look closely, you can see the difference. Right now it's a bad blend because I haven't finished, but hopefully it'll turn out well in the end. Sorry, I'm like not in frame. Hope I've been in frame this time. We'll see. So I'm going back into, I'm not adding any additional product to the Gravity brush. I'm just blending out a bit more. I'm just turning this slightly this way so you can still see me when I reach over. This is kind of blending away. I think it's my fault. Like honestly, I'm not the best eyeshadow. I'm pretty good, but you know, I'm just packing more on. I do want these 2 shades, Queen of Blades and Void, at full opacity next to each other. Now that these are packed on, I am missing a little bit of the color from 7 of 9. So I'm just going to, I want a nice gradient, which I'm kind of just playing with these shades until I think they look the way I want them to. So it just takes a little bit of work. With dark shadows, a lot of the time you do have to finick with it. You do have to like fidget with it. And you can see I am getting some fallout when I am packing on these dark shades. That was my brush falling into my box. Oh, I think I just used the wrong brush to pack on the blue. Good thing they're pretty similar. I'll find out in editing, but I'm pretty sure I used the wrong brush a bit. So you can see right now it's looking pretty good, but there is like a line here, which is kind of weird. Maybe I'll just blend up the Queen of Blades a little bit more on both sides into the 7 of 9 territory. Or even, I think I'd like the way I looked better if I went back into Void and just covered the entire eyelid with it, even the darker corner, to just make the entire lid. I was trying to use as many shades as possible, but I think I'm just going to like going over the entire, yeah, I can already tell I like that a bit better. Back into 7 of 9 and just blending. That looks a lot better. Sorry, I'm not doing a very good job explaining, but I'm really liking the way it looks. So far I've really had to fidget with this, which I don't mind. I like spending a lot of time on eyeshadow, but I did have a little moment where I was like scared it wasn't gonna work out, which I don't normally have. Like I normally always work out with eyeshadows. I don't know why, it's just normally how I go about things. This is a really pretty look. You could leave it, but I could not add shimmer. You could use a glitter glue, but when I'm doing a review, I always like to test the shadows at least once without glitter glue because I know a lot of people don't want to add that extra step. So I'm taking Nova, which is this really pretty duochrome purpley blue. I've used it only on the inner corner so far, and I'm taking a good bit of that and just packing it on top of this blue. That is stunning. Be careful, because I did just get some blue, dark blue into the pan. So you might want to like use different fingers each time and dirty all your fingers but not dirty the pan. But this is stunning. And I'm kind of just packing this all over. I don't mind if the shimmer gets everywhere. That's kind of my goal. And you can see I'm using different fingers so I don't dirty. You know, I'm dirtying all my fingers, but I'm not dirtying the palette as much. So now I'm just blending that a little bit, but you can see there's still some of the other sparkle up there, and I'm okay with that. Going back, a little more of gravity. So you can see I kind of have a green crease blue lid, and I ended up really liking that. Let's sparkleize the other eye. Love this look actually. I was kind of scared that it wasn't going to work out, but it actually is looking quite stunning. Now you can see I do have a decent amount of fallout, but that's why I always have some makeup remover on hand to just wipe away with a tissue or a towel. And then I'm also just creating a line following the shape of like kind of where you would put a wing liner, maybe a little lower, like that. And not all the fallout's wiped away, I gotta work a little bit more. I'm gonna come back to do blush and highlight, but I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of my base off camera. But I will have the products that I used linked in the description below. Okay, for blush, I'm going in with the Nebula Skin Glazing Glass Skin Finish Glow Powder in Independence. This is a really nice glowy blush. It's really pretty. It's a nice glow to the cheeks. You do have to blend it out a little bit, which I have not done yet, but it is a really nice blush. Just going in with a clean brush and just flopping it over my face. For highlight, I'm just gonna use the Fenty How Many Carats Diamond Balm. It's just the original clear diamond balm. I'm just gonna use my fingers and just kind of the glow on my cheeks. Kind of just glowy and bright. I thought it would go with this kind of ethereal look. Well, it's not ethereal, I don't know what it is. Alienish. I wanted an excuse to use it. Just makes your skin look really sparkly. And now I'm just gonna go over with my beauty sponge. And now let's go in for our lower lash line, or my lower lash line, not our. I'm going back into 7 of 9 and just blending that along the lower lash line. Oh, I forgot to put on eyeliner. I was gonna put on eyeliner. Actually, I don't think I want to. I brought over eyeliner because I was gonna put it on, but let's not for once. I always put on black eyeliner. Let's just not do it. I'm gonna blend it out a little bit with Gravity. This is for a really smoky lower lash line look, like almost looking like you have eye bags. Even though I just covered up the eye bags, I have. Makeup doesn't have to make sense. Now I'm going in with a bit of Queen of Blades, just tighter to my lower lash line, and then with some of Void. Just kind of covering them up each other. You can see it looks kind of messy. There's a bit of fallout. I'm just going to take the 7 of 9 brush and blend it. You have to blend your lower lash line just like your upper lash line. And stuff kind of gets everywhere. It looks kind of bad. That's why I always have a brush with just powder on it on hand, like an eye brush. I just sweep everything away, blend it out even more. I'm going to do my mascara and brows off camera and we'll be back for lips. Actually, I'm just going to, before I do that, I'm going to pop a little bit of Nova, which is the duochrome we used all over the lid, onto the inner corner too. Let it shine there as well. So for lips, I'm being lazy and doing a nude. This is the BFF lip liner from ColourPop. Needs to be sharpened, whatever. And I'm using the Winky Licks gloss in Unicorn Tears. It looks purple, but it's really not. Smells good though. Okay, so this is the final look one. As you can see, it's this gorgeous greeny blue. Oh, it's like the earth with the grass and the sky, and I don't know, I really love this look. This is one of my favorite looks I've done in a long time. I just am not looking at the camera because I can't stop staring at my eyes. I'm gonna go take pictures of this and then I'm gonna go to bed because it's late, but you're gonna watch the second look, hopefully, unless you click away. Okay guys, so let's go ahead and start on the second look. Ah, I forgot to bring my barrette over. Okay, clip back the hair, which is getting long. I can tuck it behind my ears now, kind of, somewhat. A little bit, I don't know. But if you can see, I was wearing this palette earlier today. I just had a green look on. It was pretty kind of similar to the one we did with the first look, just without any blue and just with the greens. And it did stain. So this eyeshadow does stain. Does not bother me. My eyeshadow, pretty much all eyeshadows stain on me. I just have very stainable lids, I guess. I don't know if you hear thumping or squeaking or bumping or anything like that. That is my siblings. I'm filming before they are in bed. Gotta get this done so I can edit it and get it uploaded. Anyway, Urban Decay Primer Potion, as always, for review videos. Okay, so we're obviously going to be going into the Club Nebula palette. By this point, I've done a lot of looks with this, so I do know my opinion, but I'm still gonna do one more look on camera for you guys. Plus, I want to do this look because I haven't played with the peachy shades, which scare me. They're very similar to orange. If you watched my Nomad video, you know orange scares me on my eyes. But we are going to try and just go for it. So I'm going to go into the shade Samus, which is this, release me? Samus, which is the peachy shade. Have not touched this yet. And I'm just going to put this in my crease. Very pigmented right off the bat. This is more of a creamsicle shade. Like, I feel like this is the perfect, like, creamsicle shade. And I don't really have, I don't have anything like this in my collection besides this. So, or I don't have anything like this other than this in my collection. I don't know what I'm saying. But you can see I did that eye really quickly. I might want to pack on just a little bit more to make sure we've covered up all the staining that was going on. Which a lot of people like to use a pigmented shadow base to cover up staining. I find just putting shadow on top of it covers up the staining just fine. But I do only like to use pigmented eyeshadows because of that. Because I want to cover up the staining from the past day. So this looks really good so far. And I don't know if I want, I don't think I'm going to do a halo eye for this. I've already done one halo eye with this palette, so I think I'm kind of a basic shape, but with colors that I don't normally go for. Now I'm going to go into Red Giant. It's the one shade in this palette that has an imprint of like a card imprint, which I do find it weird they put the imprint in only one shade. I kind of wish it just wasn't there because it kind of throws me off that it's just in one shade, but does it throw any of you guys off? I don't know. I don't hate it. It's just like one thing that it makes me curious and kind of like, what? But I'm just packing this on the outer corner and kind of up into the crease because I normally use 3 crease shades because we're only using 2 today. I'm kind of putting this low in the crease and in the outer corner, kind of messily, and we'll blend it out in a second. It's okay if it's really bad at first. Makeup is a process. I'm going back into the peachy shade and just blending. You see, blends so easily. These shadows are very, very good. which this is my first time. This palette is my first eyeshadow palette from Kaleidos, and so far, I mean, you'll have to technically wait till the end for my thoughts, but I'm really liking it. Just building up more of that red shade because it did get slightly blended away. It's looking really good. There is fallout on my face. Basically just going back and forth until I like the buildup of these shadows. One thing, I'm getting that same like line that I got in my first video, or in my first, the first look, that weird line. I've never gotten that with shadows before, of just like a line where my crease is. I don't know what that's from. Okay, it's kind of going away now, but it's still kind of there. It's kind of, I don't know what that is. I like the way that's blended, so I'm gonna go into my NYX glitter primer and do like a half cut crease. You guys know I love this stuff for shimmers. It just makes them pop. And you saw with the last look, it still looks incredible without a glitter glue. I just like to use them. But I do definitely appreciate if the shimmers look good without a glitter glue, because I do not have time to put it on every single day. But these definitely look good with or without. I've already tried them with. Looks good too. Now I'm taking the shade Nebula, the shade that the palette is named after, or the palette is named, I don't know. The shade that is the same as the name. And you can see, that's very pretty. I definitely do not have a shade anything close to this in my collection. It is very unique. And I'm just putting this on my lid. There's another peachy shade that we'll use in the inner corner later. But I know this look is kind of basic. It's like a basic shape. I'm only using 4 shades once we count the inner corner shade. But again, I don't want to use a shape that intimidates me while I'm doing colors that intimidate me. I don't want to intimidate myself too much. You can see that's really pretty. I'm just going to go back into the Red Giant brush. Is it Red Giant? Yes. And just kind of smudge that to blend it. Sometimes I put shimmer shades on my entire lid. Sometimes I just put them on half the lid. Today it's kind of just looking like a half the lid kind of day, just because I don't know why. I made the subconscious decision to do that. And just a little bit more blending. I'm going back into Samus just a little bit to intensify the peachiness, because right now it's looking pretty red. I feel like on camera looks always look like you can notice every single imperfection. So I try not to stress too much about like not doing everything perfectly, because in real life it's gonna look absolutely fine. So I just wiped away the fallout, kind of cut the line a little bit, or not cut the line, I don't even know. Don't know, I'm gonna go and do my base makeup and we'll come back for blush and highlight. For blush, I'm gonna use the shade Twilight here from the Lunar Beauty Moon Prism Blush Palette. I just dropped my brush. That was pathetic of me. And I'm just going to, it's a very peachy shade, and I personally don't wear peachy blush a lot, or just, you know, I don't wear peaches in general, because they're close to orange, and I do not like orange on my face. I'm starting to try and experiment with it more and more, but it's hard. Now for highlight, I'm once again using the Space Age Prophecy highlight. I've used this in several videos recently, but it's pretty new to me, and it's also from Kaleidos. So I thought I'd use it at least once in this video, or once. It is stunning, one of the most blinding highlights in my collection. It's a multi-chrome. It pulls pretty pink on me and peachy, so less than the green that it does shift to. But oh gosh, it is stunning. It makes me look like an alien in the best way possible. I totally want more shades from this line. Incredible. It looks kind of like a stripe on this side, but I am gonna blend it out a bit. The pan size is a little small. Like, I rarely go through makeup products, so I don't really think that's a big deal. I didn't bring setting spray over, so I'm just gonna pat it in. What am I doing? I don't even know. Lower lash line time. Gotta grab the makeup. Going into Samus again, the peachy one. And I like a smoky lower lash line, so I'm just going in with the blending brush. Okay, now Red Giant. I'm just smudging that a little closer. And taking the Samus brush and just blending it out a bit. I kind of like to look like I'm dead. Or like, not dead. I like to look weird. I don't know. I don't know why I like my lower lash line so smoky. I used to hate it that smoky, but I like it like that now. I'm taking just a clean brush to blend away a little bit of the red that got here where it was not supposed to. Now, inner corner highlight, we are going to take the shade Celestial, which is this shade right here. I'm going to take my pinky finger and just, oh my goodness, that is beautiful. I don't know if it was in focus or not. It's a really stunning pinky color. I'm definitely gonna have to use that on its own soon. Like all over the lid, give it its own moment. Other than just stuck in an inner corner. That is so pretty. Mascara and brows time, then we'll be back for lips and my review. For lips, I brought over the ColourPop Luxe Liquid Lip in Prince Edward, which I don't really like ColourPop, but I have a ton of their stuff that I want to use, so. Prefacing this, I love ColourPop. I'm rooting for them, but they're doing some not nice stuff. Or they're clearly not trying in a lot of arenas. Wow, that is a lot brighter than I intended. Okay, we are blotting most of this off. It's still very bright. So I tried to wipe a lot of this off and now it looks like I've been making out with someone. And my lips are still extremely pink. So it didn't do a very good job coming off. But I'm just gonna put this Luxe Gloss over top of it. This is in the shade Ticklish. And yeah, it's very sheer, but we'll see. So this is where my lips have come to. I don't like them. And I like this look. It's not my favorite. That's just because of the color selection. But yeah, I kind of wish I had done my first look second so I could do my review in that look, which was gorgeous. But it's not the palette's fault for this look. It's just not my personal favorite color story. Plus I had no lipstick to match, so it's kind of just meh. So now let's talk about my opinions on the Kaleidos Club Nebula Palette. Obviously you know what palette we're talking about. I've done 2 looks on it. I've shown it a ton. Now in the intro I should have talked about, you know, price and everything. I don't know, I haven't filmed it yet. So that's what I should have talked about. But let's first talk about my general first consensus when I look at the palette. I think the outside packaging is absolutely gorgeous. Like, it is stunning. Love it. A+. You go in and the color story, I really like it. It's unique. It's not necessarily something, you know, I definitely would gravitate towards the first 2 rows a lot, but the bottom row definitely challenged me, got me out of my comfort zone, and I did really like that. This look, these shades are very pretty. They performed very well. In the bottom row, they're just out of my comfort zone. One thing I say about the packaging, it feels very luxe. It's not like extremely heavy, but it's not light. One pet peeve I have is that there's like, if you hear it, that sound when you open it is this piece of cardboard coming up. Or not cardboard, just like thin paper-ish texture. I don't know exactly what it is, but it feels pretty flimsy, and I just feel like it might break. It has not broken yet. I don't know, it bothers me that there's like a little thin piece of cardboard there. Like, I don't know why they had to do that, why it couldn't, like, there was probably mechanics for it. I don't know if the escape pod is like this too. I don't have that palette, but there's just little cardboardy, papery sort of flap that is not my favorite. So that's packaging wise. Now let's talk about quality. The shimmers are fantabulous, amazing. I love them. The shimmers, they're just so good. I definitely have no complaints about the shimmers whatsoever. The mattes, they are very good. I do really like them. Are they my favorite mattes in my collection? No, they're very pigmented, they're very blendable. They just, I don't know, I'm not pulled to them like some of the mattes in my collection. I do really like them though. They are very good. There's nothing wrong with them. I just, for some reason, they're not my favorites. I honestly could not tell you why. The only thing I can mention is that weird line thing that I got. I don't know what that was. I honestly can't remember of another shadow that does that, and these shadows have only done that the 2 times I've filmed this, so I don't know. Could be user error. I'm not saying it's 100% the palette's fault. I don't know if it's my fault or if it's the palette's fault. If you've had that same problem, you can comment in the description below if you have tried the Kaleidos formula. If none of you have ever heard of that problem with Kaleidos shadows, it's probably my fault. Sorry, I'm still not perfect. Why do I still have this barrette in? It's making my hair look weird. Pretend I just did all of that with my hair down. But yeah, I'm very bad at giving final reviews, but so far I really like this palette and I'm really glad I ended up purchasing it. I feel like there should be more to say, but can't think of anything, so that's gonna be my review of the Kaleidos Club Nebula Palette. Oh, and 2 looks. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure to like it and subscribe for more kitten and makeup related content. I post on Sundays with a kitten related video and on Wednesdays with a makeup related video, and if I can't post then I post whenever I want to. Please make sure to leave any thoughts or questions down in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching again, and goodbye!